Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast. This is a community for purpose-driven women who desire to live their dreams and aspirations. Our mission is to inspire you to live your dreams one day at a time while serving as a beacon of hope and guidance. We will be addressing various issues related to womanhood. Join me as we explore our journey of life together. I am your host, Unyime Hamilton. Hello, ladies. You're welcome to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you tune in on the show today. So in our last episode, I began a series on grief and basically sharing on the 10 things that death has taught me. Today, I'm going to take it a step further to talk about 7 ways to provide support to people who are grieving. So, I recently lost my dad. Actually, I've experienced seasons of grief before from 2 of my very close friends, but I've not experienced direct grief when it comes to a family member. So this experience really hits very close to home. And the experience I'm having at the moment is a lot different from what I experienced while I was grieving my 2 friends who passed on about 2 to 3 years ago. So, in the process of grieving, I've observed that some people actually do not have an idea on how to provide support for people who are grieving. And I want to share my experience with you on the 7 ways that I've seen people support me through this grieving process that has really been helpful, and also setting expectations with regards to support from people that I have also had during the course of this my grieving process. So to get to know these 7 things, stay tuned. You're welcome back. So let's get right into it. The first thing is be present. So when people are grieving, it's not really about how much you say to them during that process of grief, but it's your being present. Your being present shows them already that you care about them enough to be present with them. So when you are present, what do? Basically listen. Listen more than you speak. Sometimes when you basically are listening to them during that grief process, they get to pour out their hearts, pour out their feelings. While grieving, you may not even know how to express yourself, but even if what they may say may not resonate with you, or you may not really understand what they are feeling, your ability to just provide a listening ear makes them feel like they are being heard, even if they are not being understood. So when someone is grieving, do your best to be present, either physically or otherwise. Also, another aspect to being present, especially if, for instance, it's your spouse or your sibling, someone really close to you who has just lost a loved one. Being present is not just being physically present, being emotionally present is very important. There are times that people that are grieving will have certain expectations of you. Your ability to listen to what their expectations are and meet their needs in line with their expectation will go a long way for them to feel loved and understood. When you listen to them without judgment and offer them a shoulder to lean on. The second way you can provide support to someone who is grieving is to help them reduce their physical stress. Remember, while they are grieving, they would also need to plan a burial. They may even need to for instance the person is working or schooling, they will still need to continue life per se. It's not like their life would stop or will be in a complete standstill. So life still has to go on, but the grieving process will also be continual. So your ability to help them relieve physical stress will go a long way. So you offer them help either with daily running of the house, shopping, cooking, running errands, anything you can do to relieve them of physical burden and physical stress will go a long way to show that you are providing support and you care about them. A third way to provide support to a grieving person is to respect their process. Grief is a process. There is no time frame when it comes to grieving. It could be a short time frame, it could be a long time frame, it could be months, it could be years. So you can't be the one to now determine, you are grieving for too long. You need to get up and pick up the pieces of your life. No, everyone grieves differently. So you must learn to respect their unique process and their way of grieving and avoid imposing your own timeline or expectations of them. Just be there with them and respect the process that they have placed for themselves. The fourth way you can provide support to a grieving person is to avoid some cliche words. I remember when I lost my dad, I think I took a few days off work. If I remember correctly, I took a few days off work, but I had to resume the following week. So by the time I resumed, I think one of the first things that someone said to me was, "Oh, welcome to is it welcome to the clique of the fatherless," something like that. You are welcome to the club, something like that. And in my mind, I'm like, I just lost my dad. This is like barely 1 week since I lost my dad, or roughly 1 week since I lost my dad. And you're telling me, welcome to the clique or the group or the club of the fatherless, something like that. That's such an insensitive thing to say. Yes, the person said it humorously. And one thing you need to understand is they may have made that statement to someone else who is grieving and the person will take it humorously. But you cannot tell how people will respond to what you say. So in other words, you have to be mindful of what you say because you cannot determine how that person will respond or how it will come to that person, how that person would feel. So for me, I felt it was an insensitive thing to say. Of all things to tell me, you are telling me, welcome to the club of the fatherless. So am I supposed to be excited about it? Am I supposed to just smile? I just smiled and I just walked away. So there are some statements like, "Oh, time heal all wounds. Oh, God gives and God takes. Oh, we cannot question God." All those kind of cliche statements. It's better to just avoid it. And like I said earlier, just be present to listen. If you have to say something, you just tell them, "Oh, it is well. I'm here for you if you need me. If you need me for anything, I am here with you to support you." And you keep quiet. How are you? How are you faring? Do you need anything? Let the focus be on the person and the person's feelings rather than on the circumstances surrounding everything. So, some people feel, "Oh, I have to say something to show that I care." Trust me, being present and acting more with your actions than your words would be of greater importance than having to say something to that person. So you don't need to be compelled to say anything. Just be present and make the person know that if they need anything or any way they need you to be there for them, to the best of your ability, you will be there for them. The next thing, the fifth way you can be of support to someone who is grieving is to encourage self-care. Encourage self-care is not that, "Oh, get up now, you've not had your bath since morning. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do this, you need to do that." No. Grief can be physically and emotionally exhausting. I know there are times that to get myself out of bed would be a problem. I know that there were times that to even get myself to go to work, I was just not in the mood for anything. Some days I would not even want to put up makeup, nothing. Some days I have to compel myself to just give it a try. So, what are the ways in which you can encourage self care? You can encourage it by taking a walk with them. Oh, let's just go get some fresh air. Do you want us to take a walk? You may feel better if you take a walk. Let's go on a walk. Okay, you could book a spa date for them or a salon appointment for them. So you, by your actions, it's rather than just saying, oh, do this, do this, do this. You motivate and encourage them by securing a means in which they can take care of themselves and now trying to invite them or encourage them to join you in that process. And with time, they will see the need. When they see the benefits, oh, they go for a massage, they feel relaxed, they fall asleep, they see the benefits, they go on a walk, get some fresh air, they see the benefits of the need to come out of bed and take out time. You understand? So don't just be telling them and prompting them with your words on what to do. Encourage them with your actions on how to take care of themselves. The sixth way in which you can provide support to a grieving person is by gifting them with items. I remember that after I lost my dad, a lot of visitors coming to the house. We had a lot of our friends and families sending things for us. Some were not even within the country, but would just get a dispatch and they've brought some snacks, they've brought some drinks, they've brought water, they've brought fruits. And it was so loving because most times you're carried away. You're not even in the mood to go to the market and buy things, but there were people just bringing in gift items. So one way to show that you are with them, and you don't even have to be present in the same location. You could send in financial support. You could send in a dispatch to dispatch things to them just to show them that you care about them. So gifting them with items is one way to provide support. And the last way to provide support for someone who is grieving is to check in on them regularly. In fact, I have a friend who isn't in the country, and on a regular basis, just a sentence, she would text me, I am thinking of you in this time, and I pray that God continually comforts you. I'm praying for you regularly on a constant basis. And anytime I saw that, there was this hope I had. There was this form of peace I had, knowing that I had people that were looking out for me. You cannot be providing support when you are not reaching out to the person. Even if it's on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, it must not even be a call because sometimes the person may not be in the mood to receive calls. You could drop a message, you could drop a voice note, but check in on them regularly because grief is a process. And the common thing is once that initial period of grief, of the burial ends, people just crawl back into their shells and continue life as usual. No, please, because even the word of God says is rejoice with those that rejoice, mourn with those that mourn. Even up to a year of this person having lost the loved one, they may still be grieving. So you have to be intentional about checking in on them regularly. The word there is regularly. It is so important. You don't know the comfort that you would be bringing to that person when the person knows that they are not alone. Most people die from loneliness. Especially if you've lost someone so close to you that was a pillar and a support, and it now feels that that void is there and there is no one to help cushion the effect. So it's important to check in regularly. You will not be a good friend if you do not check in regularly on your friend who is grieving. It is very important. As women, we must learn to support each other. We must learn to stand in for one another. Let's understand that life is a roller coaster. There will always be high moments in life and there will always be low moments in life. Think today which of your friends is going through a trying moment and when last did you reach out to them? Even if it means setting an alarm on your phone, send a text to or reach out every 2 or 3 or 4 days. You set an alarm, it reminds you to reach out. Please, let's be intentional about building a support network for our women and our friends out there who may be grieving. I really look forward to hearing more tips from you. What other ways do you think that we can support people who are grieving? Please share it in the comment section. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. I hope you were inspired to keep taking steps towards living out your dreams. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to share it with other women and leave us a review on our social media platform, which is in the description box. Also, feel free to subscribe to our channel to get notified of new episodes. Till I come your way on our next episode, keep living, keep dreaming. Bye for now.